What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the XBOT Chameleon. I've reviewed the previous one, and this one is a whole new device as compared to the other one. The other one was a gimbal, but it didn't have the sensor, and just the whole overall look, shape, and design has been revamped as compared to the other one. Now, whether or not I prefer this one as compared to the other one, you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. But before I get into the rest of the video, just make sure you subscribe just so you can stay tuned for more videos like this. Right, so this device is completely different from the initial one. This one, it looks like it could just be its own camera. It looks like a tiny Android, and I didn't know what to make of it, right? Like, just looking at it straight off, like the other one, at least you could tell that it was designed to hold cell phones. This one, not so much. The design is completely new in that this one, it is best, and I would recommend you definitely put it on a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, I recommend you get one or something just to hold it on there, like to stabilize it, just so you can have the best advantage while using this. The previous one, not so much. Like, you could also put it on a tripod, but with this one, it more so is, I'd say, like mandatory for you to get the best use out of it. And it's a light object. Like, you're not going to have any trouble like lugging it around, or if you want to take it to the park and record a football game or anything, it's not going to be like any trouble in that sense. But having to take the extra equipment might be, might be a little annoying at times. But for the most part, like, it's a fine device. Like, it's not really one that's going to be going to take most of your space when having to take it around. Now, the thing about this device that I really wanted to see, but kind of didn't get, like, this device, it feels a little bit like it's in the beta phase in a way where it's like they changed everything, and I feel like it's not at its peak yet. In that there's a lot of stuff you can still do from the previous one, right? So you have to get the app, of course, and after you get the app, you are going to have different options in ways that you want to record. Now, for me, anytime I use the other one, or even with this one I was testing, I really like the follow me feature, because that one, it really, like, it's cool anytime I use like AI and just watch like AI follow you using your own camera, and it's ridiculous. Sometimes it doesn't even feel real; it just feels surreal when using these devices. But yeah, anytime I played with the other one, and even this one, I always put follow me. And while I was using follow me, it worked great. But I feel like with this one, it like the other one had the buttons that you could use on it. Well, this one, you're like, the remote is going to pretty much do 90 to 95% of the work. Like, a lot of it is going to have to be done on the remote, and that's because this one doesn't have any buttons like that. The previous one was like a handheld selfie stick with buttons, whereas this one is more so reliant on the remote. And I guess this one, like, you could pick and choose like what type of person you are. Like, if you see yourself like always needing or wanting to use a remote, and by all means, that could be your sort of thing. But I feel like the other one made it more like practical, in the sense that, yeah, you could also use a remote, but it had buttons, so you didn't really have to get a remote. Whereas this one, if you lose a remote, you're pretty much like done for with that, right? So, like, it's really cool. The remote is really useful. I'd say it's kind of like the most important part of this device in general. So it works in the same way as the other one. It has a 20-degree angle, and this one, I found it like it was struggling a bit more than the other one. The other one felt like more seamless when I was using it, where this one, I felt like there was a bit of struggle when it was trying to follow. Like, it would like pause sometimes, and other times it would just glitch out. And I don't know if, like, maybe, hey, maybe I just have like a faulty device, or maybe, I just didn't do it right. But the other one was like more like not plug and play, because you don't have to plug into anything, but it felt like that. Whereas, like, as soon as you got to using it, like, you could just use it instantly. Whereas this one, it took a process, took some time to know it and like get used to it, and for me to realize how to use it properly. Whereas the other one was just straight up, you take it out of the box, put your phone on there, maybe a couple tries, and you know how to handle it. Well, this one, not so much, because it didn't feel as practical, and it wasn't as smooth as the previous one was. Now, this one has an 8-hour battery life. 8 hours as compared to the other. Now, this one has an 8-hour battery life, which is good. Now, the charging time is about 3.5 hours, which honestly, I don't mind because this isn't one of those devices that like you need prompt or like on the go, right? This is something that you can either leave charging overnight or you can just leave at the side while it's charging. I don't really see it as one of those devices where, oh my God, like I need a full charge in 30 minutes. If you do, well, that's kind of your fault because you could have like charged way ahead of time or way before you're going to the soccer game or needing to use it. But honestly, like 8 hours for 3.5, not a bad deal when it comes to like other devices like cell phones and earphones. Maybe the review are skewed differently, but that's not like that's perfectly fine with me. Like you get a pretty reasonable amount of battery life while, yeah, of course, the charging may not be like ideal, but it's still good enough where you don't really can't find yourself complaining after having to use it for 8 full hours. And a neat feature is like if you have an Apple Watch, then you can use the app on the Apple Watch and control the device, which like I like that. It makes it seamless, right? Like as I said, the remote is going to be really important. But if you have an Apple Watch and you want to use it in that way, then it's going to like at least help you when you're using the device. Now, not everybody has an Apple Watch, so it's going to be only like useful for in those instances for people that actually do have an Apple Watch. Now, as for the app, like you can edit videos on there, but honestly, I personally prefer to just like extract all my videos and edit them on Final Cut, which it's easier for me, right? Like I'm already used to it. Like Final Cut for me is like the back of my hand. So having to edit on like on apps or external like media is like it's not really for me. But hey, maybe you're not a video editor and you want to be able to like just chop up your videos, and you can do it on the app. Personally, I just prefer doing it on my own on the Final Cut. So bottom line, this device, like it's good, right? Like I really do like the upgrades, especially the look of it, the sensor at the front. But I think right now it's just not like a peak where it's like I feel like this is maximum performance. There's a few bugs that ran in there, some things that like were a little lackluster or confusing to me. But overall, like I liked it and I enjoyed using it, and and whenever I use like an AI device, like it's always awesome to me, regardless of which it is, because AI is just taking over so much where it's like it's almost encompassing each and every one of our lives to some extent, some way, whatever, right? But I did enjoy using it. Now, as comparing to the previous one, I would have loved to see more leaps and bounds as to what they had to offer. But hey, you know what? This is just a step in the right direction, at least, right? They're going somewhere positive where they're trying to make everything minimal and just expand the use of the device. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. I'm JEDIJA, and I'm out.